But then the Bucs got back in it. Let's pick it up. The Chiefs' final drive, just over 3 minutes to go. Mahomes buying time in the pocket.
This is what we've seen really his game go to a next level over the last 2 years. Is his awareness, escaping the pocket, and then staying in bounds, keeping that clock running.
Later in the drive, 2 minutes to go. Mahomes to Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, good. 2nd and 9. Get the ball in his hands. This is managing the situation, getting yourself to 3rd and 7. I love this play call, Laura. Sprint out left. Usually a team will run the football there. No, they trust their quarterback, they trust their offensive line, and they trust Tyreek Hill to get exactly where he needs to, get the depth for a first down, make the catch, game over.
Game-sealing first down there. Chiefs win 27-24. And Marcus, everyone's going to try to point to the Bucs defense, how they could have defended better, right? But that's not where your attention is. Why is that?
Nah, because, Els, listen, if you give up 27 points to the Kansas City Chiefs, with everything that we've talked about that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have at their disposal offensively, you're supposed to have a shot at winning that game. And look, we all know what happened the first half, and we saw Tyreek Hill, and I was scratching my brain trying to figure out what the hell is Todd Bowles doing. Get somebody over there. Call the police, please. He needs help, and he still wouldn't do it. But they got that fixed for all intents and purposes as this game went along. And they determined that he wasn't going to be the one to beat him. And then you end up with a 27-point game that you held Patrick Mahomes to. Now, I'll say this, all right? This is the new NFL. When you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs and you have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, an offensive line, Rojo in the backfield, you got Antonio Brown, Gronkowski, and you say they're going to score 27 points, we need y'all to get 30 against this defense. That's really feasible. That's something that you would think that you would have the opportunity to do. Because holding the Kansas City Chiefs to 27 points is as hard as holding anybody to 40, right? So, look, that is the point for me. We could talk defense, and yes, Bowles made his mistakes. The cornerbacks gave up some things that we were anticipating that they would give up. But the bottom line is this. They held the Kansas City Chiefs to 27 points, and it took Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and Brian Leftwich too much time to get going offensively to make this a game throughout the duration of the game.
Yeah, we've made no secret how we felt about the Bucs offense on this show. And Dan, I wanted you to take a listen to what Bruce Arians said today. He was asked about the use of motion or lack thereof in the Bucs offense.
We've done it in the past, and we did it for years. I never see a lot of quarterbacks. You know, Peyton Manning never wanted anybody in motion. So each quarterback's so different, what they want the motion for. We have used jet motion a little bit. I'm not a big fan of it. It's going to disrupt what you're doing versus just blocking people.
Has Tom Brady asked for more motion in the offense to help him identify coverages?
That's the motion that we use, yeah. We do as much as he wants.
Here's my thing with the comments from Bruce Arians. One thing is unlike the other. Like, Bruce has never used a ton of motion. It's never been a staple of his offense. And right now, the Buccaneers don't use a lot of motion. Tom Brady has always used a ton of motion. 3rd most in the NFL over the last 5 years. And the Bucs don't use a ton of motion. So you tell me who's winning here. You mean to tell me that Tom Brady at 43 years old decided I want to go to a place and do things that I've never done before when it comes to scheme? I want nothing more than to play stagnant football where I just get my head beat in. No, I've had a ton of success using motion. I don't want to use it anymore. I've had a ton of success using play action. I don't want to use it anymore. I've had a ton of success owning the line of scrimmage. I don't want to do it anymore. That's my struggle with listening to those comments.
Look, I understand why we're criticizing the Bucs offense. We've been doing it all year. I share some of the frustrations with the play calling, the lack of play action, the inexplicable use of Leonard Fournette. But Tom Brady is not above reproach, right? And I think we need to characterize this correctly. It's not scheme holding back a transcendent quarterback. It's a quarterback who needs more help because he is no longer a transcendent quarterback. It's a quarterback who leads the NFL in interceptions when he's pressured, okay? So this is a failure on all parts of the offense. It's not just the coaches, it's Brady as well, and he deserves criticism too.
Blame all the way around there. Guys, breaking news right now on NFL Live, a story we've been following all day with the Ravens and the Steelers. Adam Schefter with the latest.
Well, Laura, we talked about the last segment, the fact that this game could be postponed again, and that's exactly what just happened moments ago. The NFL has postponed the Ravens-Steelers game that was supposed to be tomorrow night to Wednesday night. This is the third postponement. So a game that was supposed to be played on Thanksgiving night now will be played 6-7 days later in Pittsburgh. There's not a time yet set for the kickoff of this game. There's not a network, I think, selected for this game yet. I don't know whether NBC will or won't be doing this game, but we know that the game currently now is being rescheduled to Wednesday, which will put pressure on Week 13 when Washington plays at Pittsburgh, when the Ravens are supposed to host the Cowboys. Those teams will have short weeks to get ready for their next week. And obviously, this will also mean that there are no other positive tests in Baltimore. I think the league feels like it's got a pretty good handle on it right now. But again, the big news just coming down, that game pushed back yet again.
Adam Schefter with all the latest. And just to remind everyone, the Ravens with 20-plus positive tests amongst their players right now. Marcus, you said off the top of the show you didn't think that this game should be played tomorrow. It's been postponed now to Wednesday. What's your reaction?
I mean, I guess the only reaction I have is that they need to make sure that they get as much time for testing to come back negative as possible. That's the only reason I see it being moved, well, postponed to Wednesday, which makes sense. Like they weren't going to get the results by tomorrow's game, so maybe an extra day in a league that's testing every day and getting results as fast as they can. They can limit that number of players that doesn't have the ability to play by half if these tests come back negative. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, the best news I heard out of that was when Shefty referenced that there doesn't seem to be any more positive tests.
Yeah.
That's outstanding news. And that being said, I have nothing better to say than the best and most flexible team, the team that will get past the complaining and move on to getting the game done, will handle this situation the best.
All right, Mina, what should we be looking out for tonight as we get closer and closer to Eagles taking on the Seahawks?